My name is Nick, and I'm the organizer for the Mezcal Moto Rally. I plan the rally challenges, and I scout the roads prior to the race. I've ridden 3 consecutive Mezcal Moto Rallies with some outstanding riders riding a diverse selection of motos from cruisers to ADVs to sport bikes. One valuable thing that I've learned from the MMR is that motorcycles are not just machines. They're keys to the world. They unlock doors to places that you can't pronounce, roads that you've only dreamed of, and adventures that leave you broken in the best ways. The Mezcal Moto Rally isn't just a ride. It's a gateway to something bigger. It's a rolling, roaring odyssey through Mexico's untamed heart, a place where every twist of the throttle is a challenge, every pothole a test, and every destination rewarded with smoky mezcal and spicy tacos. But it's not all sunsets and magic. The rally will kick your ass if you let it. You'll fight potholes that are big enough to swallow your front rim, highway curves that dare you to lean too far, and sneaky topes, speed bumps that appear out of nowhere and remind you who's boss. And there's no rescue convoy. There's no support vehicle trailing behind. It's just you, your bike, and whatever you can manage to strap on it. The Mezcal Moto Rally isn't about being the fastest or the best rider. It's about having the guts to embrace the chaos, the patience to deal with the unexpected, and the stamina to see it all through. But to survive, to finish with a grin on your face and a story that's worth telling, you need the right machine. For me, that machine has been the 2008 R1200GS, a rugged, air-cooled brute with over 40,000 miles. It's reliable, tough, and as familiar as an old jacket. But after 17 years, even this tested warrior has me wondering if it's time for a new bike. The new BMW R1300GS, a sleek, futuristic predator that claims to redefine adventure motorcycling. But promises are cheap. I need to see for myself what the new GS is all about. The first part of this journey is riding the old bike in Mexico, 1,500 kilometers from Michoacan to Austin on a 2008 BMW R1200GS. Mexico in the summertime is chaos wrapped in heat. It clings to you, seeps into your skin, and hangs in the air like a slow-burning fuse. The roads are a roulette wheel of surprises. One minute you're cruising smooth blacktop, and the next you're dodging livestock and craters that are big enough to garage a Vocho. Through it all, though, the 2008 GS was unshaken. Starting in Michoacan near the Pacific coast, I rode the old bike north through lush valleys, climbed the jagged mountains of Guanajuato, and crossed the sun-scorched deserts of Coahuila. Potholes were really nothing for the old GS. Cobblestone streets were also no problem. Even on the highway, it cruised at 120. But the bike isn't perfect. The gear shifts are really clunky, metal on metal, in a way that feels more force than finesse. And the rear suspension's a little squishy and adjustable only by hand. Even the headlights. Sometimes I turn my phone flashlight on at night to provide more light. Still, there's a rawness in this bike that's hard to ignore. There's no cruise control, there's no display screen, no fluff. Every mile feels earned, every rev of the engine. It's a conversation between me and the machine. By the time I rolled into Austin, I was a little weary and exhausted, but also exhilarated. It was clear that this bike doesn't just take you places, it really is part of the journey. The second part of this journey was riding the new bike through Spain, 1,500 kilometers from Madrid to Granada and then back to Madrid, on a 2024 BMW R1300GS. Before taking off to Spain, I packed some of my favorite mezcals for the trip. A smoky, high ABV Oaxacan Tobala for sipping straight, an oven-fired Espadín for cocktails, and a mild Jabali from Puebla for drinking with ice. Spain was a whole different animal. I flew into Madrid and found the 2024 BMW R1300GS waiting for me. The triple black variation, gleaming like something out of a sci-fi movie. It looked ready to conquer anything. Spain's roads are a dream. No potholes, no debris, no animals roaming, just smooth, sweeping ribbons of asphalt. And the new GS, it was made for this, with the electronically adjustable suspension, liquid-cooled engine, and multiple ride modes. It devoured every twist and turn. On the highway, it was a missile. On the mountain roads, it handled like a sport bike. Off-road, though, that's when things started to feel a little weird. It's not that the bike couldn't handle the dirt and the gravel, it could. But all the technology, all those bells and whistles started to feel like a liability. The bike indicated an error at one point for the cruise control malfunctioning, shortly after I got off of the trail, which was no big deal. But what happens when you're miles away from civilization and something major breaks? And while the suspension soaked up the bumps like a dream, the bike's sheer weight made it less nimble and less forgiving. The ergonomics of the bike are also misleading. The narrow seat and short nose can temporarily make you feel like you're on a dirt bike, but that feeling disappears quickly as soon as the bike starts sliding. Head-to-head between the old bike and new tech, reliability and maintenance. The 2008 is an absolute workhorse. It's simple, tough, easy to fix, and if you need a part, you're likely to find it at any city in Mexico. The 2024, on the other hand, is a technological masterpiece, but if its electronics decide to quit, you're stuck. There's no hacking your way out of it. Comfort and ride quality, there's no denying that the 2024 is more comfortable. Its suspension is softer and it offers better wind protection. But the 2008 has soul. It's not perfect, but it feels alive in a way that the 2024 doesn't. Technology and usability. This is where the 2024 shines. The keyless ignition, cruise control, customizable ride modes. It's all really cool, but it feels excessive for the Mezcal Moto Rally. The 2008 simplicity keeps you grounded and focused on the ride, not the dashboard. The verdict, after 3,000 kilometers of testing, the answer's clear. I'm sticking with the 2008. Sure, it's old, it's quirky, and a little rough around the edges, but it's reliable and familiar. The 2024 BMW R1300GS is an absolute marvel, no doubt, but for the kind of riding that I do, simpler is better. I'll upgrade the 2008 with a brighter headlight, maybe tweak the suspension, and keep riding it on Mezcal Moto Rallies. After all, adventure motorcycling isn't about having the latest gadget. It's about the stories you collect along the way. Spain and Mexico couldn't be more different. Spain is refined, flawless roads, elegant tapas, and a sense of order that's almost disorienting. Mexico, on the other hand, it can be chaos and beauty and freedom, all wrapped into a handmade corn tortilla. I can see myself in Spain someday, sipping on brandy and riding something sleek and modern. But for now, there's too much of Mexico left to explore, and too many mezcalerias left to visit. Motorcycles are tools, but the right one makes all the difference. Whether you're chasing mezcal through Mexico or gliding through Spain's sunset hills, the ride and the people you meet along the way are what matter.